Creatives. Does change work your last nerve? We all experience change in life, all of us. How has your life changed in the last 2 years? Any changes? Has your relationship with change been one that you value? Welcome to New Thought Live with Rich Smith and Dean Regan. Today on New Thought Live, we're changing things up and we're discussing how change can be the cornerstone of greatness in your life. Change can be tough, but we'll explore here today on New Thought Live how to embrace it, how to allow it to help you live your highest and best life. Absolutamente. Hey, Richard.
Hey, the only thing you can count on is change. Things are going to change. You can count on it.
You can count on it. You can count on it. So
you might as well embrace it.
You have to embrace it. Well, you don't have to do anything. You get to embrace it. You get to choose change. My gosh, there's been today has been a day of change in our household here. There's been a lot of gnashing of teeth and pressurizing, all kinds of stuff going on. Oh my gosh. And it has really required to take a deep breath and even recognize when there's some fear present, because a lot of times with change can bring some fear and upset, even when there's fear present, that love is on its way, love is expressing. And to really just, again, you know me, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I mean, the way that I look at it, change, it's a new chance. Every time there's a change, it's a new chance. It's a chance for something new.
Yeah.
What about the spiritual principles of change?
Oh, I've got one, by the way.
Bet you do. I bet you do.
Let's see if I can find it. It's spiritual principle 36, number 36 from my book, 52 Laws and Principles of the Infinite Filmmaker. These are based on the metaphor that your life is a movie and it's created by an infinite filmmaker. And there's no limit to what it can create in your movie called life. So anyways, where do you want your movie to go from here? So talking about your movie, this experience that you're having is like a movie. And you have to decide, where do you want your movie to go? It's going to go somewhere. Okay, there's going to be an end to the movie. But by now you understand that you get the same thing tomorrow as yesterday, unless you do something different with your today. Ernest Holmes in his landmark book, The Science of Mind, wrote, life keeps repeating itself with a monotonous redundancy until you change it. I love that. It keeps repeating itself with monotonous redundancy until you change it. And so change is good because it allows you to see things that you're doing and you can decide, okay, I can change things. I can change my situation, my circumstances.
Sure.
Now, Principle 36 points out that, the decisions that you make today are creating new experiences in the future. If you want to create a different future, then you must pay attention to what you are focusing on your attention on today. Today's just a reflection of what you were thinking about and acting upon in the past. And so Dean, what are you going to change?
What am I going to change? What I'm changing. Well, since you asked. So I come from a background where anger was something that was used in my former self, in my family background. The one emotion that we could identify was anger. And so today, these days in my life, I notice that when anger comes up for me, and that's when I get squeezed, when I've got changes that I didn't expect and didn't want, and I'm acting all kinds of human-like, anger comes up. And I found what I'm going to change, since you asked, is just yesterday I noticed I had anger come up. And I was talking to my family, and I realized that I was expressing anger. I had chosen anger. But what was really going on beneath that was that I was tired and sad. And the instant that I identified where I was and what was real, what the authentic feeling underneath it was, I felt a change. So there was a change. There was a change that was coming on, and I'm choosing responses that I want to change. And I really worked through it to go, okay, this is really what's going on. And the instant I recognized that I was exhausted and that I was sad, number one, I lied down.
Yeah.
Well, first thing I cried a little bit, because when I recognize the sadness, that just comes into me.
Yeah.
So I softened and I lied down. So that's a great change for me, that I'm embracing that kind of change to know that I can be more authentic with myself. And I think we're going to talk about this tomorrow, that sense of trusting yourself. That's what I'm changing.
Yeah.
And that change, just since you brought that up, change, that's for me, that's growth.
Yeah.
So when change is coming at you, you can see it as a new chance. And depending on how you choose to respond to it, you can grow with it.
Yeah.
You can grow with it.
Yeah, that's like Ernest Holmes says, life will repeat itself with monotonous redundancy until you change it. So embrace change as an opportunity to, like you say, look at your life, decide, is this where I want to go? Is this where I want to take my movie to the end of the movie? Or do I want a different ending, a different result?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like that for personal growth, really great. And also for, it gives you an opportunity to switch things up, so that you can get out of life what you want, what you expect out of life.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you didn't want the way you were feeling to continue.
No. Well, yes, I did not want that anger aspect, because I value compassion, and I recognize that my anger is just magnified fear. Many reasons, no excuses, just, this was my choice. I like the fact that I can still embrace change and go with the change and grow with the change, and take the change as a new chance to be my highest and best self.
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up in a family that, God, 5 kids. My mom had, no husband. He died. My dad died. And there was a lot of anger again, and lashing out at each other. And so for me, when I get to that point, I just want to attack.
Yeah.
And, in my former marriage, the relationship, that's what it was about. And thank God with my new wife, Jennifer, she just doesn't allow it. So I've learned to change. I've learned to change, because she's not that type of person. She's like, well, that wasn't nice to say that. Like, you're right. Whereas attacking me back and me attacking her, and she, back and forth, that's what I grew up with. So thank God, I manifested an amazing wife who helps me work through that and make the change, the necessary changes, just in who she is. And so we don't do that. We don't fight at all. We just don't talk to each other.
I love it.
But change is good.
I love and
change that.
And having a certain sense of humor while you're going through these changes, when these changes are coming your way, or whether you're creating the changes, having a certain sense of humor gives you a certain sense of flexibility too. You gotta, open-hearted, empathetic, compassion. Just there's a dear friend of mine has an image of an oak tree as their icon. And, the oak tree is very strong and very flexible. And I think that's where we can be with change. Metaphorically, just seeing that oak tree strength and imagining yourself with that kind of those deep-rooted values and the flexibility. It's like with your wife. I mean, she's, all of a sudden she's got her husband angry and out there, and she's not used to that. And she didn't push against you and break.
Yeah.
Kind of, well, that's not nice. She was very flexible. No, no, maybe if you had continued, she would knock you upside the head, but she's flexible.
Yeah. I like that flexible because the universe itself is flexible.
Yep.
Okay. And so if you are fighting against change, okay, which is, it's just a natural thing in the universe for things to change and grow into their greatest self. And if you're rigid with it and you don't allow the universe to flex and go with it, then you're fighting against it. You're going to get nowhere in life. And I've learned that, a long time ago, just to go with the flow, stop fighting the universe, stop fighting spirit, allow it to just allow your life to unfold in perfect order and not try to control it and make it move in the direction that you want if it's not meant to bring you your highest good and everyone around you the highest good.
Go with the flow. Go with that flow.
And
you can also directionalize that flow. It's just when we start pushing against the flow, it's just like flow doesn't work that way. Speaking of flow, hey, that New Thought Tuesdays yesterday, we had a really great discussion, lots of flow. We didn't know what to expect yesterday because our whole topic was on expectations, and we got into the discussion afterwards, and we had some really good input. So it was really terrific to talk to you guys. Thank you for being there. Those of you that were there in the community, we love you. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday in the discussion. Is there anything, Mr. Richard Smith, that you'd like to conclude today?
Yesterday we talked about expectation, today change. So I just want to leave one thought: expect change.
Expect change.
Expect it. It's going to happen.
Well, I'm done. If you're done, we're done. We send you love.
Okay. Take care. Thank you for joining us.